Okay, let's start inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه من سن بسنة الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا اجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome again to this Ramadan special program that we've been doing this series since last 3 days. Today is the third day. And today our topic is how to enhance our ibadah in this Ramadan as we are in seclusion, and how to prepare ourselves in this Ramadan, especially as we have so much time available with us as a blessing from Allah. One thing I want to mention is that this is a big ni'mah that we are having this Ramadan. I know a lot of us are very, very sad, depressed, not happy that we can't go to the masjid, we can't have iftar, we cannot have tarawih. A lot of people are in a negative mindset that what kind of this Ramadan is going to be. But I want to show you the silver lining. I want to show you the positive, the benefit part of this Ramadan that is going to be. Walaikum assalam, sister. Thank you. Welcome. Walaikum assalam, brother Zia. Walaikum assalam, brother Naeem. Mm. So, one of the thing I want to share with you is that whenever there is a time of isolation, walaikum assalam, whenever there is a time for isolation and confinement, yes, it is negative. I mean, perception is negative, that it is negative over there. Walaikum assalam, brother Mukhtar. Thank you for joining on Facebook. Walaikum assalam, brother Zamir. Thank you for joining on Facebook. Walaikum assalam, brother Jawad. Thank you for joining. And brother Mohsin, mashallah. So what I wanted to show you, my dear and sister in Islam, today, before I actually give you the 10 tips, there are 10 tips that we can use in this Ramadan to enhance our ibadah. And walaikum assalam, brother Mohsin. Thank you for joining on Facebook. Whenever a person is in isolation, whenever a person is in a confined, restricted area, it is always the turning point of their life. So, what I'm trying to show you, inshallah, that this Ramadan will be a turning point for each one of us as Muslims and for the whole Muslim Ummah as a whole together. How? I'm going to mention to you three, four incidences from the past, predecessors, the Salaf as Saleh. First of all, as I mentioned last night, that our Prophet Muhammad Sallam used to go to the ghar, the cave, Ghar Hira, and from age 35 onwards, he would be in confinement, in isolation, although there was no sickness, nothing, there was no pandemic. It was just his desire to be alone, to contemplate, to think, and ponder about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then at age 40 he got the nubuwa, the prophecy, and that is where in the cave Jibril alayhi salam came to him. Then you all remember from the seerah of Rasul sallam that they were put in exile in Shab Abi Talib, outside Mecca, when this was around the the seventh year of the Nubuwah, or between 6 and 7 year of the prophecy of Rasul sallam. The Meccans said, they made an isolation and confinement, and they told Abu Talib, tell your nephew to take his followers and get out of Mecca and go live up on the mountains, on the mountainous area outside the hudud of the Kaaba. Up on the mountain area, there was the area of the land owned by Abu Talib radiallahu anhu, and that is known as Shab Abi Talib. And what happened over there? The Muslims were living there in very, very, very confined, isolated, exile situation. They were cut off totally from the people of Mecca. The relatives in Mecca were not allowed to go up to that area. No one from that area was allowed to come down to Mecca. and they were suffering in terms of food and water and provisions. They were in very difficult, life that are lasted around, almost 3 years. It was so bad. It was so bad that thing for 3 years in the confinement exile of Shab Abi Talib, that after it was ended and when they come back to Mecca around the 10th year of Hijrah, I mean, sorry, the 10th year of the prophecy of Rasulullah, it is known as the Am al Huzn, the year of sorrow, when he lost his beloved wife Khadija radiallahu anha. She had become very weak because of that exile, living there up in the mountains, for 3 years. And then 6 months later, he lost his uncle Abu Talib, who also had become very weak, living there in exile. So that exile was a very drastic and heavy thing on our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW and the early followers, meaning people like me and you, the Muslims, the early Muslims, the Sahaba in Mecca. They lived in exile, in isolation and confinement, in very drastic conditions. And then came the year, the year of sorrow, and then he lost two of his most staunch supporters, the uncle and the wife, at the 10th year of Hijrah. Then that was the turning point in his life, because then he went to Taif. After Taif, he went for Isra Miraj. After Isra Miraj, he went for Hijrah. After Hijrah, they went in and lived in Yathrib in Medina. And then, from Medina, then life began to change. So, what I'm trying to show you, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, is that anything that is negative, this lockdown, this isolation that we're living in, nobody likes to be confined in their house. Nobody likes to be, restricted from their movement. But sometimes these things are there from Allah as a blessing in disguise. There's a silver lining in it. I want to mention to you uh, three more prophets, no, four more prophets I want to mention to you who were also isolated and confined, and when they were, that was the turning point in their life. First example I want to give is about Ibrahim alayhi salam. As we all know, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was thrown in the fire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, in Surah Safat, قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. And we said that, oh, fire, become cool and safe on our slave Ibrahim alayhi salam. Why did they throw him? Because they did not like him and they wanted to get rid of him. They thought that if we throw him in the fire, he will burn. That'll be the end of his message, end of his prophecy. No more headache for us, and we'll get rid of Ibrahim alayhi salam. But little did they know that as he's going in the fire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel alayhi salam, and he said, Alaka haja, is do you have any need, O Ibrahim? And Ibrahim alayhi salam said to Jibreel, if it's you, no, because Allah is well aware of what I'm going through. And then he said these beautiful words, wa alaikum assalam, brother Mansoor from Dallas, Texas. Wa alaikum assalam, brother Fasi, mashallah, from Karachi, Pakistan. Brother Abdul Sayyid from Bergen County, mashallah. Wa alaikum assalam, brother Kashif. So it is very important. Wa alaikum assalam, brother Anwar Sadiq from Chicago, mashallah. Welcome on YouTube. Please, all of you, wa alaikum assalam, brother Rajib Bashir, wa alaikum assalam. Please, all of you on Facebook and also on YouTube, can you please subscribe to our channel? You know where it says subscribe on the YouTube over there on our page, on our channel. Just click, because by clicking on that, you will help our masjid. We need more and more subscription. Once we get up to 1,000 subscribers, inshallah, our masjid will benefit from your subscriptions. In that, they'll YouTube or Google will provide money for the masjid, inshallah. So this is a indirect way that you can help our masjid by clicking on subscribe and clicking the bell icon. There's a bell icon next to the word subscribe. Just click on that. So this will help us. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was going in the fire and he said these beautiful words, Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for me and he is the best to rely upon. And he stayed in the fire and he was there in the fire. Wa alaikum salam, brother Muhammad Nasir from Bangladesh, mashallah. I believe maybe Dhaka or Chittagong on Facebook. Very good. It's nice to see our Muslim brothers and sisters from all over the world joining, and we are here in a small town in New Jersey, in Hackettstown. So we are a small masjid, but mashallah, we have a big heart and we have people from all over the world joining us. Wa alaikum salam, sister Dua. And wa alaikum salam, brother Hamza, mashallah. The other prophet I want to mention, Ibrahim alayhi salam went in the fire and he stayed there for few days, as he's in the fire, he's cut off from the world, he's isolated, he's confined, and he's totally disconnected. And the fire itself, it's a very dangerous thing. But Allah converted the fire into a comfortable place for Ibrahim Islam to live there, to stay there. There are different riwayat how long he stayed in there. Some say 40 days, some say, more than that or less than that. But we don't want to go into the controversy of that amount of days. But we do know that it was a good chunk of time that he was living in the fire. And just imagine he's getting risk and all of that. Walaikum assalam, brother Yassine, mashallah, on YouTube. So, what I'm trying to show you examples, my brother, sister Islam, is that these prophets were also living in isolation, in confinement, in a lockdown, just like me and you are living right now. Next example is Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Allah talks to us about him. In Surah Araf, Allah says, وَوَعَدْنَا مُوسَى 30 لَيْلَةً وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ فَتَمَّ مِيقَاتُ رَبِّهِ 40 لَيْلَةً. And Allah says, and we appointed Musa for a time of 30 nights and completed them with 10 more. So the appointed time of his Lord was complete 40 nights. And these 40 nights, Musa alayhi salam was in isolation, in seclusion, in confinement, up on the mountain, Jabal at-Tur, where he was talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and getting the Torah, getting the commandments from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Musa alayhi salam was away from his people, disconnected from society, isolation. Walaikum salam, brother Usman Ubbal, mashallah, from New Jersey. Welcome to the program. Please, all of you who are joining, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will help us and benefit the masjid in an indirect way. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to give any money. You just have to click subscribe on the YouTube channel of our masjid. And inshallah, our masjid will benefit through donation from Google, inshallah. So Musa alayhi salam is in isolation, in confinement, in a lockdown with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the mountain, and his brother Harun alayhi salam, Aaron, is with the people, with the Bani Israel. So I gave you example of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in confinement and isolation in Shab Abi Talib. I gave you example of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was in confinement, in lockdown, in isolation, in the fire. I gave you example of Musa alayhi salam. He was also in confinement up on the mountain with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the fourth example is the example of Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. You all know the story of Yunus alayhi salam. I don't need to repeat here. You all know he was in the belly of the fish. Can you just imagine, brothers and sisters? Take 2 seconds, close your eyes, and imagine you are in the stomach of a fish. You are cut off from the whole world. Talk about a lockdown. People who are complaining right now, I know a lot of Muslims are complaining. Walaikum assalam, Sister Aisha Ali, welcome on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. We are complaining about this lockdown, living in our beautiful, comfortable home. We have food, alhamdulillah. We have electricity. We have, we can open the window, get fresh air. We can go outside and walk. We are, and still people are complaining and whining about this. Consider Yunus alayhi salam, Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. In the stomach of the fish, it's all dark, no light, no bulbs, no any kind of. And he's getting fed. Allahu Akbar, Allah. He's getting rizq in, he's not dying. He's not dying from suffocation. He's not dying from starvation. He's not dying from dehydration, from less of water. Yunus alayhi salam is in a lockdown. Allah put him in the lockdown. Where Allah put him in the lockdown? In the belly of the fish. Listen to what Allah says in the Quran in Surah Safat, Surah 37, verse 143, 144. فلولا أنه كان من المصبحين للبث في بطنه إلى يوم يبعثون. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Let that sink in. Let that digest. Walaikum assalam, brother Mumtaz from Parsippany area. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُصَبِّحِينَ. About Yunus alayhi salam, Allah is saying, Walaikum assalam, brother Muhammad Harun, mashallah. Where are you joining from? Chicago, is it? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, but had he not been from those who glorify, he would have certainly lived in the belly of the fish till the day of judgment. Subhanallah. فلولا أنه كان من المسبحين للبس في بطنه إلى يوم يبعثون. يوم يبعثون, the day of resurrection, day of judgment. Yani Allah is saying, Allah himself, Jalla Jalaluhu, is saying, I would have kept my prophet, my slave Yunus alayhi salam in the belly of the fish until the day of judgment had he not been from who? Musabbihin. And that is the topic of my preparation for Ramadan, this Ramadan tonight. Our topic today is how to enhance our ibadah. You know, yesterday, last night, those of you who missed the lecture last night, every day we do this 9 p.m. So, and we'll continue in Ramadan also. So make sure you come every day 9 p.m. You can come on this YouTube channel or the Facebook channel, inshallah. Last night I gave you 10 things, 10 points I gave you on how to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this Ramadan. Today, I'm going to give you 10 things how we can improve and enhance our skills, our talent, our ibadah, our worship in this Ramadan. And one of the first thing is musabbihin, tasbih, that Allah is saying. So I gave you example of 4 prophets over. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in lockdown in isolation up in the mountains. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam in a lockdown in isolation, confinement in the fire. Prophet uh, Musa alayhi salam in a lockdown in confinement up in the mountains with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 40 nights. Prophet Yunus alayhi salam in the lockdown in confinement in the belly of the fish. And he's getting food and oxygen and everything. And then after 40 days, he comes out. As many of the riwayat say. So, and then last, the 5th prophet I want to give you example is Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. You know, Yusuf alayhi salam was put in the jail by the Aziz over there when his wife said that, oh, what is the penalty for a person who tries to attack your wife, although she was lying, and although he was proven innocent, because when they saw the shirt, the fingerprints was of the woman on the back of the shirt. But still, the governor of that time, or the person of the palace, he put him in the jail. And then in the jail, Yusuf al-Islam is talking to people, giving them da'wah. And then he tells one of them, who one of the person who was about to be freed from the jail, he told him, I'm going out, I'm being freed. So he told him, can you remember me in front of the king and palace? Can you mention my name? Like, recommend me, do my sifarish, Walaikum assalam, Maulana Anasuddin, mashallah. Kamona Bhalo, thank you for joining from New York. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran in Surah Yusuf, وَقَالَ لِلَّذِي ظَنَّ أَنَّهُ نَاجٍ مِّنْهُمْ اذْكُرْنِي عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ فَأَنْسَاهُ الشَّيْطَانُ ذِكْرَ رَبِّي فَلَبِثَ فِي السِّجْنِ بِضْعَ سِنِينَ. And he said to him whom he knew would be released from the two of them, remember me with your master. But the shaitan caused him to forget mentioning his name to the master, so he remained in the prison few years. Bid'i sinin, few years. Yani Yusuf al-Islam is further confined, locked down in a jail, in a prison. So 5 prophets I gave you example tonight. 5 prophets example who have been in the same exact situation as me and you are right now in this lockdown for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and Allah knows best how many more weeks we're going to be living here. But we are in the same situation as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, as Prophet Musa alayhi salam, as Prophet Yunus alayhi salam, and Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. All these prophets, in their stories of confinement, when they came out of it, the tides changed, everything changed, 180-degree change to positivity. And that is what I'm trying to, from this I am giving, this is my ijtihad, my inference that I'm giving you. It's not mentioned in the hadith or anything, but this is what I'm telling you, that whenever these lockdown and confinement they finish, the people who were in it, it was a turning point in their life for productivity, for blessing, for positivity. For example, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after he came back from Shab Abi Talib and the confinement exile over there, it became positive for him, because then the events took a turn and he ended up establishing the state of Medina over there for all the way up to Hijrah. And then the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam also, that example, after that fire incident, when he came out, it was a positive thing for him, a turning point. And then he reached his peak after that. Musa alayhi salam, when he was up on the mountains for Arba'ina Layla, for 40 nights with Allah's mother, when he came back after that, he took his people, Bani Israel, into Al-Quds, into Jerusalem, and all of that. So that was a turning point for him. Yunus alayhi salam, fi batn al-hut, Yunus alayhi salam, who was in the middle of the stomach of the fish when the fish threw him out. and then he came out. That was a turning point for Yunus alayhi salam, and that reached to his positivity, his peak. And same thing with Yusuf alayhi salam. When Yusuf alayhi salam was finally released from the jail and prison, he was made the finance minister, the treasurer for the whole Egypt, and then he was ruling over there and giving. So that was a turning point in the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. All these prophets, when they came out of the lockdown, yes, the lockdown, confinement, isolation was very, very bad, very depressing, very negative, but they remained firm, they remained patient, sabir. They did not rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did not go against it. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Muhammad Ahmed. Jazakallah for joining on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe onto the channel for YouTube, inshallah. So this way you know all the programs that we're going to be doing. Ramadan is coming up. We have planned a very, very powerful Ramadan programs every day. I'll be telling towards the end tonight. So now, after mentioning this, all these five prophets that when they were in confinement and isolation, they made dhikr of Allah, they increased their ibadah to Allah, they increased their ta'alluq with Allah, they enhanced themselves in this isolation confinement. And when the isolation and confinement lockdown finished, when they came out, it became a turning point, 180 degrees into positivity. Inshallah, inshallah, brothers and sisters, when our lockdown finishes, when our confinement finishes, we will turn around and become more positive, more productive, more progressive, more beneficial, and our life will change for the better. This is inshallah, inshallah, the ummah, Muslim ummah will rise again, inshallah, from this lockdown. This is my firm belief, and tawakkul at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now in these next 30 days of Ramadan, what are some of the things that we can do to increase and enhance our time and our what you call our skills, our talent, our knowledge, our ability, so that we can make the best use of Ramadan. In addition to the 10 things I told you yesterday, those 10 things that I told you yesterday, you can watch in that video also. It's already there recording. Those 10 things was to improve the ta'alluq with Allah, the connection with Allah. Tonight's 10 things are going to be about how you can make the most productive Ramadan in isolation for yourself. Because all the other Ramadan we spent before, we were busy with job, with work, with other things outside. Now we are locked down, now we are isolated, so at least we are confined. So we have more time available in this Ramadan than the previous Ramadan that we spent. So number one, again, I will write this down and post it in our WhatsApp group, so don't worry about it. You don't need to write it down. And I'll also post it on our Facebook page. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, inshallah, you can subscribe to our channel. This way, I'll send you this, inshallah, in the email, inshallah. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Amber, watching from Canada, mashallah, joining from across the border, across the country. Thank you very much. Welcome. Number one thing we need to do in this Ramadan while we are in this lockdown in isolation to improve ourselves is sleep less compared to the other days. If we spend all these days of Ramadan in lockdown in extra sleeping, extra sleeping, we're going to waste the opportunity. This lockdown and this time stipulation in isolation is an opportunity. It's a fertile land. It's like agricultural land. It's time to reap the rewards. So first thing we should do is somehow control and manage our sleep. You can go on Google and find out there's so many gurus out there who will give you tips and strategies how to control your sleep. Reduce your sleep. Instead of sleeping 8 hours a day, let's cut it down to 6 hours a day and manage our sleep, that we don't sleep during the day or anything, or if we are less sleep at night, then we manage it during the morning or the day or afternoon or something. But time management of sleep and reduction of sleep, just for 1 month, just for 30 days, if we reduce our sleep after Ramadan, inshallah, we can catch up on our sleep, because by reduction of that, we will spend that time that is freed up in ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, sleeping more makes a person lazy, lethargic. So if you become lazy and lethargic and slow and dull, you will not have the desire to do ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will not have the desire to do dhikr or read Quran or things, or the 10 things I told you yesterday, last night. So that's why sleep is very important to be reduced. Number two, eat less in Ramadan, especially since we are staying at home, we're inside confined. You can already see the last 5 weeks of confinement has made all of us very chubby, and we can't go to the gym, or even outside. If the weather is good, then we can go outside. Otherwise, if it's raining or something, especially in the northeast corridor. So you know that Eating more will make a person more lazy, and the more you eat, the more sleepy you become. So, yes, people think that fasting means that you blast the whole eating thing at iftar and suhoor time. I've already told my wife and our family members that, we need to cut down, and therefore iftar time should not have so many things, 25 different things at iftar. Let's just have the let's just have the iftar of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. The Rasul sallam have pakode, samosa, chane, chole, patis and this and that. He had just zamzam and khajur and tamar. Walaikum assalam, Sister Muslim Mushgan joining. So let us reduce our ta'am. Because Imam Ghazali rahimahullah, he said in his kitab Ihya Ulumuddin, قِلَّةُ النِّيَامِ وَقِلَّةُ الطَّعَامِ وَقِلَّةُ الْكَلَامِ. Three things. If you decrease three things, yesterday I told you about increasing nine things, right? Increase nine things I mentioned in the 10 things yesterday. Today I'm telling you in the 10 things that you have to decrease three things. Number one, decrease قِلَّةُ النِّيَامِ, decrease your sleep. Number two, decrease your ta'am. Because when you eat a lot, your belly gets filled up, and doctors can tell you, physician can tell you that your sugar, your adrenaline starts pumping in, your sugar starts rising, and when the sugar rises, then you start becoming drowsy and sleepy, and hence the whole nine yards. If we want to make the best of this Ramadan, we need to reduce our food intake. Just survive on bare minimum. Now, I'm not saying starve yourself, or I'm not saying dehydrate and don't drink. Drink plenty of fluid, drink plenty of water. Eat food that is nourishing and strengthening. Eat food that will make you stronger. Don't eat food that has, watch your diet. Be productive. So next thing, number three, talk less or socialize less. you know Qillatul kalam that Imam Ghazali said in his kitab was meant that if you talk a lot to other people, you're wasting that time which could have been used. Ramadan is going, it comes and goes so fast like this. Even if you think, oh, I got another 29 days, another 28 days, that's fooling yourself. We got to be prepared like an athlete, Olympic race. The Ramadan is coming. I got to be very careful. I got to be very careful. I don't want to criticize anybody here, but don't take this as a criticism, but as a general comment. Somebody mentioned to me that, oh, I'm going to be watching Ertugrul, the Turkish Ottoman Empire, warrior, his series that there has been dubbed from Turkish into English and Urdu. So some people are gearing up that this Ramadan, I want to boost my iman and watch Ertugrul. No offense meant, and nothing against Ertugrul or any of that. But the amount of time you're going to spend watching that on Netflix, any amount of time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, is that going to benefit you on Yom Al Qiyamah? This is the question we have to ask. Watching these shows, binge watching these shows, even if they're Islamic in nature, Ramadan is a time for ibadah. Is watching Ertugrul a form of ibadah? If yes, by all means, please go ahead and do it. And also let me know so I can also do it. But if it is not an ibadah, then we should focus that time that we are intending to put in Ertugrul, put that time in something else. What will give you the others? So time management is very important in this month of Ramadan, in isolation, especially in Allah has given us a biggest opportunity, waqt, time, in this isolation. So we need to make the maximum benefit of that time. So we need to socialize less with people, even through, WhatsApp or through social media or, FaceTime or video conferencing. Socialize less with people. Tell people I'm busy in ibadah. I'm busy in connecting with Allah. I'm busy in maximizing my profit of Ramadan. Because Ramadan, like I said last night, Ramadan is like a big sale from Allah. Allah is announcing that it's not buy one, get one free. Allah is saying it's buy one, get 10 free. You do something one time, you get the reward of 10 times. Al-Hasanu bi ashra amthaliha, as the hadith tells us, that one good deed is like 10 times that. So that is why it's very important that we socialize and talk less, reduce that, and whatever time we are reducing in these things, that time should be compensated with increase in ibadah, in worship and other things, inshallah. Number four, disconnect from everything when you're connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a very important tip, brothers and sisters. Number four, that you disconnect from everything. Close your phone down, put it on silent, close your laptop or your computer. Whenever you are in any act of ibadah, whether it is zikr, whether it is nawafil salah, whether it is tilawat al-Quran, whether it is memorizing Quran or anything, just disconnect. Because what happens is we pick up the Quran, start reading, phone rings. Okay, put the Quran down, let me take. You start reading Quran, something comes up, email. Oh, let me check the email, put the Quran. So Quran is getting disturbed, or ibadah or dhikr, you're doing dhikr and phone rings, that is getting disturbed. You don't want that to happen, brothers and sisters in Islam, in this month of Ramadan, especially this Ramadan when you have isolation and confinement, so much time available. Number 5, when we are doing our ibadah, any ibadah, I gave you a list of 10 yesterday, last night. When we're doing any ibadah, before you do any action, please recite this dua. Allahumma akhlis niyyati. I repeat again so that you can memorize. Very easy, 3 words. Just 3 words you need to memorize. Allahumma, oh my beloved Allah, akhlis, purify. Akhlis, ikhlus, ikhlas. Akhlis niyati, my intention. Whatever I'm doing, Allah, give me ikhlas in my ibadah. Give me ikhlas. Wa alaikum assalam. Solid. Thank you for joining on YouTube. So it's very important to understand that we do ikhlas. So if you just recite these 3 words, Allahumma akhlis niyati, oh Allah, purify my intention. Oh Allah, purify my intention. Whatever I'm doing purely for your sake, not for people, not for competition, not for show off, not for anything, but just for you. Number 6, very important that we need to do in this month of Ramadan to enhance our, wa alaikum assalam, Sister Abby, mashallah, is we need to read the Quran with translation. 2-3 nights ago in this program that I do every night, I mentioned to you about a shahada, about a conversion on the Islam hotline story of a lady from Virginia who called, and I gave her shahada. You know what she said? She said to Alaikum Salam, Brother Shahab, mashallah, from Rockland County, New York. Thank you for joining. She said that I read the whole Quran translation. She wanted to become Muslim, and I asked her why, and she said that I read the whole translation of the Quran from Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas in 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. And after reading that, she became convinced that she wants to become Muslim. So this Ramadan, at least we should try to read the whole Quran with translation in our native language, mother language, whatever, whether it's English, Urdu, Farsi, Punjabi, whatever the thing is, Swahili, whatever it is. If you're not an Arab, you need to know what Allah is saying. And to make you easy for that, alhamdulillah, we announced, I mentioned this 2-3 nights ago, that if I get 2 students, I'll do the class, and Jazakallah for the 2 sisters from our ISNJ community, they immediately signed up. But now already, alhamdulillah, we have 25 people for that class. Every day in Ramadan, starting this Thursday, April 23rd, every day from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, here on YouTube, not on Facebook. So all of you on Facebook, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every day in Ramadan from 4 to 6, I'll be doing a word by word explanation, tafsir of the Quran. It's called Dawra Quran. Dawra means that you do from cover to cover, from Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas, every single ayah, every single word. I'm taking this big responsibility upon my shoulders. Please make dua for me. But I'm doing it for the sake of the ummah, for the sake of the Muslims, because there are many dawra of Quran available, audio clips in Urdu and other languages for people. But for English, especially for kids, our kids are not off from school, but they're at home because of the school being closed. So it's very important that we attend, if you can attend. If you cannot attend, it's fine. I know it's 2 hours, pretty long, but you will be able to watch the videos later on at your time. So you can at least listen to those videos, watch those videos, and still learn what Allah wants. If you don't want to open the Quran and read, you can just watch that video daily basis and be able to understand, inshallah, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken in the Quran. It's very important to enhance our skill. Before this Ramadan, you knew about the Quran, say this much or this much or this much, whatever you knew. Let this Ramadan be where you know the whole Quran. On the 1st of Shawwal, we want to be people who say that, alhamdulillah, like that kind of new Muslim lady from Virginia. We want to be like her on 1st of Shawwal, saying, I know all that Allah has said in the Quran from Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas, because I went through the whole intensive program, Dawra of Quran in English, in this Ramadan. That was 6. Number 7, and this is very important, my dear brothers and sisters, Islam. Shahrul Ramadan, Shahrul Quran. The month of Ramadan is a month of Quran. So number 7 is memorizing at least 3 ayat of the Quran. Why I say 3 ayat? Because if you really look at it, it takes less than 5 minutes to memorize 3 ayats. an average 6 to. If we memorize 3 ayat a day for 30 days, that's 90 ayat. And one of the biggest thing that shaitan puts waswasa is, hey, look, you don't memorize Quran. You can't become a hafiz. You're too old now. Fine, we don't want to become a hafiz, but we want to be someone who knows more Quran than others. And there's a second reason of memorizing Quran this Ramadan, because we will be praying Taraweeh at home. We will not have the liberty and freedom to go to the masjid and pray Taraweeh behind an imam. So if you already know just 5, 10, 15 surahs, and you're going to be praying Taraweeh, whether 8 rakah or 20 rakah, regardless of the number, you need to know at least enough surahs. Otherwise, you'll be repeating every surah again and again, again. If you only know 20 surahs, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, then those 20 surahs you're going to be just repeating every day in all the 29 days. So memorizing at least 3 ayat. Saleh, can you bring the charger? The charge is going down. So memorizing 3 ayat every day will enhance our Taraweeh experience. Those new ayats that you memorize, you review them during the day and then use them at night in Taraweeh, in the rakat. So let us make an ahad with Allah that we will memorize 3 ayat for 30 days. Now you might be thinking why I chose 3 ayat. There's a secret for that. Let me tell you. Ramadan is a good time to develop a habit, good habits. We want to remove bad habits in Ramadan and we want to increase good habit in Ramadan. If we can together, if we can develop this good habit of memorizing 3 ayat for 30 days or 29 days. If you can get this habit, because by the 29th day it'll become so easy for you. Remember, anything new is hard in the initial first few days. After first few days it becomes easy, becomes second nature. Your body starts adapting to it. So if you memorize, just tell yourself, fool the shaitan, give the shaitan deception that, oh, I'm not becoming hafiz, I'm not going to memorize Quran, I'm just doing 3 ayats a day because I want to do Taraweeh at home every night. So fool the shaitan, deceive it by saying 3 ayat. So if you are able to finish 90 ayats in this month, here's the secret I'm going to give you. If you continue after Ramadan, just every day 3 ayats, whether they are short ayats like Qul Wallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid Walam Yulad, 3 ayats like that, or 3 ayats that are long. If you continue this journey of 3 ayats every day, 365 days a year, and continue and continue and don't leave it, you will become a hafiz of Quran in 6 years. I calculated it. I sat down today, I was calculating. There are 6,286 verses in the Quran. 6,286 verses. If you divide that up by 3, you will finish memorizing the whole Quran at a very simple, slow pace of 3 ayats every day in 6 years. And if Allah gives us that life of 6 years, remember, by the time we die as what? Hafiz the Quran. So that is why it's important. Number 8, we have to increase our knowledge in this month. So number 7 was memorizing Quran. Number 8 is increase our ilm, study books. I have brought here 3 books for you, because remember, we have time in this month, so we need to use this time very, very, I don't know if you can see it. Okay. This is one book. Bring the charger, man. It's going to die. Hurry up. So it's very important to understand that if we increase our knowledge, all right, if there's at least if you want to increase your knowledge and use the time wisely, and use the time wisely, that you can read some book instead of wasting that time in something else after memorizing Quran and doing dhikr, azkar, and all the other ibadat. If we can at least read a book. This is one of the good books by one of the Sheikh Hamza Tortis sources in UK, and it talks about how to prove Islam to atheists. The book is really countering the atheism and atheist mentality. So this book will help and enhance you and make you stronger in able to talk about Islam to a person who does not believe in God. That's one thing. So it's a beneficial book. I mean, I chose these specific books and they're available online. You can get it. Hurry up, it's going to die. Okay. It's very important that we understand one thing aspect is that these books are optional. If you have time, okay, you can invest in that and read it so to increase your knowledge. Next book, the book about we read books about the seerah of Rasulullah all the time, right? But this book has been written in terms of extracting information from the seerah of Rasul Sallam that talks about his leadership qualities, leadership skills. So one of the things that we need to do in this Ramadan is increase our skills, our talent, and learn from the legacy of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallam. And these books are available from islamicbookstore.com, from Amazon, from any online store. You can just type in this title, the leadership of Muhammad Sallam. The author is John Adair, and that book was the divine reality, and the author is Brother Hamza Sources. And then the third book, if you get it's a self-help, self-improvement book. Reading book, earning knowledge, whether Islamic knowledge or general knowledge, is both important. This book talks about how you can practice leadership skills while you're not in charge. See, the common misconception, the common misunderstanding, misconception people have is that when you are in a position of authority, then only you can lead. But this book is saying you can even lead even if you are just a small down the chain, down the line of hierarchy, you're a small person. Because guess what? When somebody is in a leadership position, they may seek advice from you, and your advices and your skills and your talent will be beneficial. Case in point, we know very well, definitely Imam Mahdi is coming. And when Imam Mahdi comes, he does not have a magical wand, or he does not have a stick that he can just touch people and can change them, or he can change the whole world. Definitely Imam Mahdi would need people, qualified, talented, highly skilled people who can help him bring about change in the Muslim Ummah. And therefore, if we have built ourselves by that time, enhanced our skills, definitely will be beneficial to him. Otherwise, we'll be just sitting and watching. Number 9, very important, is to memorize at least one hadith daily, even if it's a small hadith, one small thing. بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. So then in 30 days, you have 30 hadiths that you have increased. This is more knowledge, more information that you have stored in your brain out of this Ramadan, and it'll make you a more talented, more skillful person, which is the goal and objective of this Ramadan in isolation and confinement. Last but not the least, number 10 is what we call weaning. Just like the mother weans a child from feeding after the child has born, and then she feeds her, almost for 2 years. And then after that 2 years, she has to bring her off, wean it. We have to do weaning of bad habits, bad adat. So make a list of 10 things that you think are your bad habits. 10 bad habits. If you don't have 10, you're very lucky, mashallah, you're good, excellent. But whatever you have, 2 or 3 or 5 or 7, make a list of that, and then make a target that the first 10 days of Ramadan, I want to get off this bad habit. Next 10 days of Ramadan, I want to get off this habit. Next 10 days of Ramadan, I want to remove and wean off this bad habit. So guess what? After the end of this Ramadan, you would have removed at least minimum 1 or up to 3 or maybe 5 bad habits, because Ramadan is a month of tarbiyah, month of training, and you are training your nafs. You are grooming your nafs to remove bad habit and increase good habit. This is one thing is decreasing, one thing is increasing. As you do this, this is tazkiyatun nafs, purification of the soul. And that is very important, inshallah. Again, tomorrow night we will join. That is all for tonight. These 10 things I will post it also on Facebook, on the WhatsApp forum. And inshallah, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, so that you can get all the videos. And tomorrow night I'll be announcing all the programs that I'll be doing in Ramadan. I already told you, announced you about the tafsir of the Quran, 2 hours a day, daily, from 4 to 6. If you can't make that, you can at least make the other programs that will be there, inshallah. So tomorrow night our topic will be serving the creations of Allah, khidmatul khalq, the khidmah of the makhluk of Allah. Because we started off this series of Ramadan, preparation for Ramadan, on 3 basic pillars. Pillar number one was increasing our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pillar number 2 was enhancing our own skills, our talent, which was today. And pillar number 3, we're going to do tomorrow night, 9 p.m. again over here. All of you that are watching, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also on Facebook, subscribe to our page or our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/ISNJ Masjid, and you can subscribe to that channel. Tomorrow night we'll be talking about that. And then tomorrow night we'll also be announcing all the Ramadan programs that I'll be doing online on YouTube and Facebook, inshallah. Sister Gitanjali, walaikum assalam. Sister is asking, would you recommend an easy to understand English translation of Quran? Yes. One of the most easiest translation of Quran right now that is available is the Sahih International. Saheeh. International Quran. It's available online in PDF, or it's on Quran.com also. Physical form, it is, I think it is short in the market, is not available, but you can at least get it from some bookstore somewhere. But that is one of the easiest translation of the Quran available in the market, Sahih International. So inshallah, we'll make dua for tonight, and then again tomorrow night, 9 p.m. we'll be here, and with the topic of how to make the best of this Ramadan for the khidmah and service of the makhluk of Allah, of the creations of Allah. اللهم انت السلام منك السلام تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والاكرام. اللهم انك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الابرار والحقنا بالصالحين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا شافي الامراض يا شافي المشافى اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشفهم شفاء كامل لا يغادر سقما يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقهم الصحه والعافيه في بدني وجسدي يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع عنا الوباء كورونا. اللهم ارفع عنا هذه الوباء كورونا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع عنا مقتك غضبك عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع مقتك غضبك عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أنت تكون راض عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم بارك لنا في رمضان وفي عبادة رمضان. اللهم أخلص نياتنا. اللهم أخلص نياتنا. اللهم طهر قلوبنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل منا كل الأعمال الذي عملنا خالصا لوجهك الكريم. اللهم بارك لنا في أوقاتنا. اللهم بارك لنا في أوقاتنا يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على خلق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه برحمتك الرحمن. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.